as part of efforts to counter the adverse economic impact of COVID-19 in Gauteng. The Finance and E-Government MEC Nomantu Nkomo-Ralehoko has announced an additional budget allocation amounting to 1.3 billion rands, and this is going to go towards job creation as well as job protection for the youth. Some of the sectors that will benefit include the education sector. Now, that sector will get 1.1 billion rand, and the health sector will receive 47.4 million rand in additional funding. For more on this, I'm joined by the Gauteng Finance and E-Government MEC Nomantu Nkomo-Ralehoko. Good to have you with us this evening, MEC. I'm quite interested in how you phrase this. You talk about job creation, and then you also talk about job protection. What exactly is job protection? How does that manifest itself?
So when we create jobs, we're bringing in jobs that have not been there. But when we protect jobs already determined, there are jobs that are there, and we need to protect those jobs to continue so that we don't find ourselves people that have been working being retrenched.
And the jobs that you are creating, how self-sustainable are they? In other words, how long are the youth actually going to be able to be working in those created or protected industries?
In fact, what we're trying to do, at least we want them to have sustainable jobs, but we want them again to start doing internship in most of government departments. And I'm sure in the budget we have seen that we have announced that even the Office of the Premier will be receiving some additional amount that will be used for 250 learners that have been appointed in the hotline to work there for 12 months period. Then after that, they can get opportunity to be placed somewhere. But even in other departments, we're making sure that at least there are more internship programs on ICT and other areas, related areas, so that whoever is there, it varies. In fact, it will be 2 years, and in other departments it can be more than that. It's a year or 2 years. But even in the Department of Health, there are those auxiliary nurses that have been employed. I'm sure you can see that amount of money will be going to some of the nurses that want to be employed by the department. We call them auxiliary nurses, or auxiliary services in the Department of Health. Equally so with the Department of Education, we have noticed that there is an amount that has been set aside, which is 1.1 billion for hiring of educational assistants and to preserve some posts for Quintile 4 and Quintile 1 public schools, including the low-income private schools. And in social development, you have noticed again there is 7.8 million that I've announced towards increasing the early childhood development grant to provide salary top-ups for additional compliance support duties and for employment of risk support. So there are those jobs. And in transport, which deals directly with that part of job creation that you are asking me, it's 45.5 million through provincial roads and maintenance grant that we will use to create jobs through this maintenance program. So quite a number of these departments, we want them to ensure that they do employ people that will assist in that category. In the Department of Human Settlements, the department is going to receive 165 million in respect of unpaid invoices, but again will be having 7 million that will be rolled over for payment of property rates and taxes. But again, for formalization of registration of township and title deeds. So definitely we will get people that will be working in that space to ensure that the transfer of title deeds and the registration doesn't delay to our townships.
Let me ask you this, MEC. You've mentioned the fact that internships are quite important, and that's part of the strategy that you have in place, internships for 12 months for 2 years. But we know that the youth are not one group. We cannot speak about them in one voice. They enter the sector with different skills, with different interests. Have you catered for this? Was this part of your considerations in your allocations for the budget?
Yeah, we do insist that departments, at least they must check it, because hence even the group that you will take as an MEC in your department, you have to assess and check what type of skills do they have, and do they have matric, some of them, and those who categorize them. Those that doesn't have matric, those that, in fact, the criteria is metric, in fact. Those who doesn't have metric, we say we encourage them to go to TVET colleges for vocational skills, as you called them before. But now, so that they can acquire skills, that's the encouragement that we are doing. I'll cite an example in my department, that is eGov, which deals with ICT. Those that have dropped out of school or those who doesn't have metric, we are encouraging them, because there is a program that is coming called e-waste, but we're training them again on ICT skills, like your coding, cyber security, because those are the basic skills that can have in the meantime. And last month we have been doing that program because we started it practically last month instead of theorizing with Huawei.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to let you go in a moment, but before I do, what are the measures that you've put in place to ensure that corruption does not curtail the plans that you've made, that the money that you've set aside actually does go towards the programs that you've outlined?
We have a tool that we're going to use that is going to monitor each and every government department in terms of our budget that we have allocated. But again, we have Gauteng Audit Risk Committee, which is a unit, that resides in my department. So that unit is going to take full responsibility of ensuring that each and every department does exactly what the money has been allocated to.
Thank you very much.
We have monitoring scores.
Thank you very much, MEC. Thank you so much for that clarification. That was the Gauteng Finance and E-Government MEC, MEC Nomantu Nkomo-Ralehoko.